It's important to have spaces that inspire us, that encourage productivity, yet instill a sense of calmness. For me, this meant creating an environment that felt open, airy, and connected with nature. Hi, I'm Stefan Balcik, an architect, designer, and artist based in beautiful Vancouver, Canada. In this video, I'll give you a tour of my home office setup and a bit of the process it took to put it together. My main goal with the space was to optimize it for my professional and creative needs, while also providing a secondary workspace for my wife. Just like any other architecture or design project, I started out by modeling the existing conditions. I put in as much information that I felt was necessary to get an accurate representation of the key heights and features of the space. The main area measures roughly 8.5 by 13.5 feet, along with a small entry area and a closet. After the space was modeled, I started with the current desk setup to get a feel for how the space could be optimized. I then went through various iterations of the design based on some of the main goals I had for the setup. I often need to reference technical literature and architectural drawings, so having an area off to the side on the desk where I can place a book or any other large documents was really important. I ultimately decided to go with this simplified L-shaped desk setup that has a CNC'd Baltic Birch Plywood top and utilizes various Ikea components. Something that I have to do quite often, especially when I'm working on artwork or prints, is cut a lot of things using this Olfa knife. Now, because the office is quite small, I couldn't really dedicate an area for this. What I came up with was to use one of the larger Alex drawers that comes with the casters on the bottom and essentially use the top surface to cut. And what I could do is pull the unit out from under the desk when I needed to use it, and then tuck it away underneath out of sight when I was done. Another useful storage solution that I integrated into the design was to have an Ikea pegboard on the wall. Now, this serves a few purposes. One, it gives you a place to display some objects, but also acts as a place to store some quick access items like sketch pens or rulers or cutting tools, so that every time you want to use them, you don't have to dig through drawers to find them. The pegboard is something that's really easy to install, and it comes with a lot of accessories to really allow you to customize it to fit your needs. In terms of decor, I kept things pretty simple. In addition to some art on the walls, I also have this large storage unit behind me that's also from Ikea that mainly houses my collection of books along with some plants and this super cool deer skull from my wife's Opa, who was an avid hunter and bushcrafter. Now onto the main workstation setup. So I won't go into the tech specs on all the products in too much detail, but I'll try to link as much information down below for you to reference. I wanted to keep everything fairly clean and keep as much cabling out of the way as I could. So I went with the Dell XPS series laptop, and that's plugged into my main display, which is a Dell 32-inch 4K monitor via a Thunderbolt 4 cable. And essentially everything runs off of one cable. The monitor has a USB-C hub built in, so it basically handles everything. For the microphone, I'm using this Audio-Technica AT2020. It's a condenser mic that plugs in via XLR cable to my audio interface. And I have it sitting on my desk on this little boom arm that I can move out of the way when I don't need to use it. For the headphones, I'm using the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros. They're kind of your industry standard for a mid-priced studio quality headphone. They sound great. They're pretty sleek looking. They've got these little felt pads that are removable. So they're really comfortable. I really don't notice them even if I'm wearing them for 3-4 hours at a time. I have a second smaller display just off to the side of the main monitor. That one's 24 inches and 2K resolution. It's mounted to an arm directly to the desk, and I can rotate the display to be either portrait or landscape mode. I keep it horizontal most of the time since that just tends to fit my needs, but the option is there if ever I want to switch it. The mouse that I'm using is the Logitech MX Master 3, and I have that paired with the Logitech MX Keys keyboard. Both of them are wireless, which I really like since it helps keep the desk really clean and removes most of that cable clutter. I kept the task lighting pretty simple. What I have are two fairly standard drafting lamps, and I've included a couple smart bulbs that I can control really easily with the Google Assistant smart plug that I have on my desk just behind the monitor. The second workstation is kept super clean and simple. What I did was mount a vertical arm that has a laptop tray on one side and a spot to mount a monitor. And on the desktop as well is a little power unit that allows to plug in all your devices at arm's reach. The keyboard is the same as the main workstation. It's the Logitech MX Master Series and also has a wireless mouse. Overall, a really clean, minimal setup with no cables in the way. The smart bulbs have both dimmable and color changing features, which is really helpful. I'll typically have it to a cooler setting when I'm drawing or creating artwork, and I'll have it something warmer at around 3000 K when I'm just working at my desk. I don't really use the color changing modes too often, but it is really fun to see the entire vibe of the office transform with some of the different colors available. Thanks so much for joining me on this little tour of my home office. I hope you like what you saw and maybe you gained some inspiration for your own workspace. That's it for this video. Stay productive, stay positive, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.
Bye-bye. See you next time. Thank you for watching.
See ya!
See ya.